Okay, so now let's talk about the comparator interface. So we already understood about the comparable interface. Now let's talk about the comparator interface. Why we need a comparator interface? So I'm going to basically give you a requirement right now. Okay, just understand a real-time scenario, right? Without memorizing the things, it's better, right? If we can experience it. Okay, so think like you are kind of building a MP4 application, right? It's kind of a music app. You are trying to build it out. So whenever you're trying to build out a music app, you are not going to build everything from scratch. Rather, you are going to look in the market that who actually has a music API, so that you can take that API, you can take that jar, you can plug and play that particular jar in your application, and you can have already a lot of feature which is already there in that particular library, right? You don't need to develop everything from scratch. Rather, you can borrow something from the other vendors by paying him some amount. Okay, so let's say right now you want to build that particular app, so you went to market and you asked for people, right, who has a music API. And actually at that time I said, hi, I have something for you. Okay, so actually I said, hey, look here, I do have a song class right here, which is basically kind of implements the comparable interface. It has a good compareTo method. Is basically sort all your songs in ascending order. And also I have a utility class. I've also developed a utility class, right? My util class. And if you see this particular util class, this is going to help you to iterate over your song one by one, and it can print everything to the console. So you are kind of satisfied right now. You said, okay, how much money that you will take? I said, okay, I'll take $10 and I can give you the jar of these particular things that I have developed. And you are kind of happy with the deal, and you asked me for the jar. So what I'm going to do right now, let's say I'm going to export this. I'm going to create the jar for this particular application. Whatever the development I have done so far, I'm going to create the jar for it. So I'll do what? I'll go here to file and I'll do export, right? I'll export my project and I will select here. I'll type here jar. Okay, you can see jar file. I can double click here. Right now, I can click here this particular box, export Java sources, file and resources, and make sure this is also checked, export generated class files and resources. If I will expand this, now I will select what are the class that I want to give it to you. Let's say in the API package, right now I do have a song class. This class I'll give it to you. In example.sorting, this is just for executing the main program. So I will remove this particular classes from this particular jar. And in the myutil class, my utility package also, I have a myutils.java class, right? I'll give you this class and I will give you this class, right? So I have unchecked all the other things. Right now, I'll do what? I'll do select, where actually I want to create that particular jar file. Let's say I want to create the jar file to my desktop. Let's say song API. I'll say the jar name is song API, and I'll do save here and I'll do next. I won't need to do anything, next and finish, right? Now I do have a jar in my desktop called song API. So let me go to my desktop so that you can see here. Let me drag, where is it? Song API, where are you, man? Okay, there you go. Okay, this is the song API. You can see in my desktop song API. So now I'll just give you this particular jar. You gave me $10 and my job is done, right? So now what I'm going to do here, let's say now you are going to start your development. So my job is done. So let me remove, let me close all this tab and let me delete this particular, things that I have created right now. So let me delete it. Right now, this is the empty workspace. Imagine that now you are going to start your development. So now first thing is, whenever you are trying to develop something, you need to create a project. So let's create a project called, let's create a Java project here, Java project, and let's give this particular project name as my song, let's say my song app. Okay, now we're creating your own song app. Okay, so let me create a package here called com.song, and in the song package I'll create a class name called song up, and I'll do finish. So you can see right now I have a package called com.song, and I do have a class here called song up, right? So in this song up, imagine that I have a main method. So let me hit here, and I do have a main method right here. And now let's say you want to create a array list of song, right? So what you can do, array list, and here you need to, you want to store a bunch of music. So I want to use the song class here, but if I do song here, you can see I do not have a class here called song, right? It is song app, right? I do not have a class here called song. Right now, remember, I have given you my song class, right, by that particular jar. So right now what you can do, you can use my jar, right? You can set that particular jar that you have purchased from me to this particular project build path, right? So I can go here, build path, configure build path, and I'll go to libraries, and you want to use my libraries. So you can click on add external jars, and this is the jar that I have given you, song API jar. So I can do open, apply and close, right? And that's it, you are done. Now let's hit control space here, and you can see you have a song class right now, right? Coming from the API package. That's what I have given you, right? If you see here, reference libraries, and the song API I have given you right now, I have given you this particular class, song.class, and I also given you this particular class, myutils.class, right? Myutils has that iterator method. You remember it? I have given you this particular class, and also I have given you this song class, right? The song class is what I have developed previously, right? Okay, that's good. Now you can happily use my class by doing what? You can create a music list. Okay, you don't need to develop anything. Music list, new array list. Okay, and let's say new array list here. Then you can say now music list, and you can add few song objects right here. So you can say new song. Okay, and you can add few song objects right here. Let me add few song objects for you. So as you can see right now, there are around 5 different Bollywood tracks right here, and they are already added to the list. Okay, the list name is music list. Okay, so now you have added all this particular song to the music list. Okay, so now let's say you want to print everything to the console. So actually you do not need to write a for loop. You have already purchased a class from me. The class name is myutils, right? You remember? So you can use my class that you have purchased from me, right? Actually, you can use my class, right? myutils. And in myutils class, there is a method called iterate list, and it can iterate through any list. So you can take this list object and you can put it over here, and there you go. So if I'm going to run this particular program, you can see everything in the console. Whatever you have added here in the same order, you can see it. Right now you said, okay, now let me sort all these things. So if you want to sort everything, so what I can do here, I can give some white spaces. Okay, now how can you sort? To sort everything, you can do collections. Where are you, man? Collections. There you go. Collections.sort, and you can actually pass the music list to the sort method, and there you go. And again, you can iterate over the list. You can do command C here, command V here, and you can write actually sys out here. Let's say after sorting. Okay, there you go. So now let me run this particular program to check whether everything works good. So you can see this T starts from caps T. I will change it to small t. Right now, I'm expecting that everything will be sorted by the title, because that's what I told you while you purchased my API. I told you that in my song class, if you go to my song class, I have already told you that I have written a compareTo method, and this compareTo method is going to sort everything by your song title. So you are aware about it. So whenever you are going to run this particular program, you are going to see everything working fine. So this is your old list before sorting, and this is the list after sorting, right? You can see A comes here, J comes here, K comes here, T comes here, and then the G. So everything works pretty fine. But after after a few days, you are pretty happy with all these things. Right now, you can see you have not written any kind of thing, right? You have only written a, if I collapse everything, you have only written a song up class, and you're basically using everything that you have borrowed from me. But let's say right now you have a requirement. And what is the requirement? The requirement is, let's say now you do not want to sort something by the title, right? You do not want to sort all your objects, all your song objects by the title. Rather, you want to give your own implementation. You understand the requirement? You do not want to sort your song objects by the title. Rather, you want to sort your song object by the release year, right? By the release year right here. So whatever the default implementation that I have given you, whatever the song class that I have given you, this song class says, hey, this particular, whatever the object that you are going to create of this particular song class, if you are using the collection sort method, now that particular sort method is basically going to sort everything by the title, right? That's what we have already seen here in the console, right? We have tried doing it, and you can see everything gets sorted by the title, but you do not want it. You have your own requirement, and your requirement is you want to sort things by the release year, not by the title. At that time, what you're going to do, right? Right now, you can see what you're going to do whenever you're trying to do sort, and you can see everything gets sorted by the title, but you do not want it. Now, there comes another interface called comparator. And in this scenario, you have to go for a comparator interface. So what the comparator interface basically does, the comparator interface basically going to give you a chance, can give you a picture to implement your own logic, right, of sorting. You can implement your own sorting logic, and that's what we use comparator. So now let's talk about comparator, and let's implement a comparator right over here, and let's sort everything by the release year of the song, not by the title, right? So how to do that using a comparator? Let's go into that. Okay, so I've given you a very challenging scenario right now, and I just want to know that how you're going to implement it. As I said, right, I do not want the default implementation which is coming with the song class. I do not want this default implementation right here, the default sorting implementation given by the vendor. I do not want it. Rather, I want to write my own sorting logic. So how can I do it? So basically, this particular sort method that we're using, this is basically invoking the compareTo method of the song class, right, where there is a default kind of sorting has given for me. I do not want that particular thing. I want to do my own thing. If I want to do my own thing, there is a good news, guys. In a collections class, right, if I'll go for the collections class here, in the collection class, we have basically, if I'll do sort, you can see basically there are two different sort methods. We are right now using the first sort method, this one. Now I want to use this particular sort method, and I want to learn about this particular sort method. If I can learn this sort method, then whatever the requirement that I've given to you will be pretty much easy for you right now. So what this particular sort method does, if I'll do control click here, I will go to obviously the collections class. Okay, so this is the collections class, and in the collection class, as I said, if I do command O, if I do sort, you can see there are two different sort method, and this particular sort method only takes the list as an argument, and this particular sort method takes a list as an argument. Also, it is expecting a comparator, right? So if I go to this, so as you can see, this sort method takes the list as an argument, and also it is accepting a comparator object. So what is this comparator? If I do command click on this comparator, then you can see this comparator is basically an interface. So can you see here, this comparator is basically an interface. So comparator is basically an interface, and it has few methods right here, as you can see. But if I can see one particular method right now, it has a lot of methods. Oh, it's a pretty good question. You can see this comparator is what? It's an interface, right? So in the interface, we should not have method body. But as you can see right now, there is a method here called equals. It doesn't have body. There is a method here called reversed, and it has a body here. How come? Because I'm using Java 8. In Java 8, we have a feature I can write a method with body inside the interface, but for that I need to use a keyword called default, right? Regarding default method also, I have created a tutorial already. If you want to learn about it, you can go and watch it in my channel. But I'll tell you one thing, the default method is a pretty good interview question. How can you actually write a method inside an interface having a body here? Okay, forget about it. So I'll tell you one more thing. So if you go for the comparator interface, which is this interface, and here we have an abstract method called compare, right? Not compare to. Here we have a method called compare. Inside the comparator interface, there is an abstract method called compare. And as you can see here, this method doesn't have a body. So if we are implementing the comparator interface, we have to override the compare method, and we have to give our default implementation. So by overriding the compare method of the comparator interface, I can again give my customized sorting logic, right? So if I want to implement my own sorting logic, I can use the compare method of the comparator interface, and I can give my implementation right there. So I'll just tell you, I think in the comparator interface, there are basically two methods which are abstract method. One is called compare. This is the abstract method. As you can see, there is no body. And there is a method called equals, and it also doesn't have body, right? So whatever the class which is going to implement this comparator interface, we have to provide the body for this particular methods, right? And all the other methods, I think they have the body right here, and they are default methods. So obviously, we do not need to override this particular methods, and this particular method won't cause any problem for us, right? So without wasting any time, now let me close this particular tab here. Let me go here. Let me go to the SRC. Let me create a new class here. Sorry, let me create a new class, and this particular class will be my own class where I'm going to provide my custom sorting logic. So as I said you right now, cancel. Let me close this. So as I said you, let me remove this. I want to sort all my song objects right now based on the year they have released, not based on the title, right? So what I can do here right now, I can create my own comparator for that. So I can create a new class here, and let me place all these classes inside a package called com.song.my.my.comparator. Okay, my comparators. And let's say the class name will be we want to sort everything by the release year, right? So what I can say, sort by year comparator. Okay, I can create a class like sort by year comparator, and if you see this particular class right now, my first job will be, this particular class need to implement the comparator interface. Why? Because I want to basically use this class to compare two different song objects, and I want to give my custom implementation. So I'm going to implement the comparator interface this time, not comparable, comparator. Why comparator? Because it's my customized implementation, because I'm not happy with the I'm not happy with the default implementation, right? So I want to compare two different song objects, the song control space, and there you go. And obviously right now this particular class is complaining that you need to add all the unimplemented methods which is there inside the comparator interface because you are implementing that. Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll do add unimplemented methods, and you can see it has overridden the compare method right here. Now there is a question for you. As I said, if I do Command Shift T, if I go to comparator interface, which is there inside the java.util package, if I'll go to this particular interface, I already told you this interface has two abstract method, which is one is compare and one is equals, right? But if I come to the sort by comparator class, this class implements the comparator interface, and I'm only overriding the compare method, and it is not giving me any error. Why? What about the equals method? I'm also not overriding the equals method here, but equals method is there inside the comparator class. The equals method is abstract right here. It doesn't have a body. Then why it is not forcing me over here to implement the equals method? Obviously, you are right. So every class in Java by default is a child class of the object class. And if I go for the object class, obviously the equals method is overridden there. So obviously equals method is there inside the object class. By default, my sort by year comparator class is extended to the object class. So equals method I do not need to override. Okay, because it's already overridden there in my parent class. Obviously, I'm getting that equals method right here. So I do not need to override. So in the compare method itself, this is the method I need to care about. And here I need to give my own implementation. Let's say right now I want to sort everything by year, right? So what I can do here, let's say song 01. Instead of song 01, I'll say first song, and I'll say second song. Okay, song, I'll say another song. Okay, so what I'll do here, not first song, I'll say song and another song. Let me take the variable like this, and let's say, let me give my own implementation right here. Okay, so if I'll do if, and here inside the if, I need to provide my implementation, and my requirement is sort all the song object by the year. Okay, by the release year, I'll say by the year in a ascending order, right? I want to sort in a ascending order based on the year. So what I'll do here, first I have two objects, song 1 and this is song 2. So I'll say song dot get year. If this object is greater than another song dot get year, then I need to return, if it is greater, I need to return +1. And as you already know, we have already spoke about this logic. And again, I'll have another if clause, and inside this if song dot get year is less than another song dot get year, then here I need to return, if it is less than, I need to return -1. Otherwise, I can return 0, right? And right now, this is my own custom logic that I have given right here for sorting. And this sorting is going to sort everything, going to sort all the song objects based on the release year, right? So what I can do here right now, I can go back to my song app. I can close this comparator. I can go back to my song app, and here, instead of using this sort method, I can use the other sort method. I can use the second sort method, not song sort. Okay, and this sort method is expecting a list. So my list is music list. This is the list I want to sort. So I'll provide this list over here, and here I need to provide a comparator object. So the comparator I have just created is sort by year comparator, right? This is the class I have created. Let me create an object for this class. Let's say sort by year comparator. Okay, comparator equal to new sort by year comparator. Pretty simple. How to create objects, you know, right? So Control V, and right now that's done, right? So I'm basically using the sort method, the second sort method. I'm providing the list that I want to sort. Then I'm providing my comparator object. Whatever the comparator I've created, I'm giving that object. Now I'm expecting that instead of sorting by the title, my comparator object, this year comparator object, is going to sort everything by the year in an ascending order. So now I'm expecting this. So the first should be 2004, Kal Ho Na Ho. Then it should be 2008, Jara Sa Dil Mein. Then it should be 2012, then 2015, and at last 1965. It should be 1965, and Jina Isi Ka Naam Hai. Okay, so now let me save everything and let me run this particular program, and there you go. You can see after sorting what is happening. See, everything is sorted by the year right now: 1965, 2004, 2008, 2012, and 15. Good. Right now, this song class comparable is not working, right? This particular thing we have overridden there. This particular thing is not working because we're providing our own comparator right here whenever we are actually applying the sorting logic. See, sort, and we're providing our your comparator, and your comparator is this one, sort by your comparator. This is our own class that we have created right here and provided our own logic by implementing a compare method. Okay, that's good. Cool. I think you're pretty much good right now when to use a comparator, when to use a comparable. Comparator we're using when, because when I want to provide my own custom logic, right? I'm not satisfied with the a song class implementation. I'm not satisfied with the song class sorting information. I want to provide my own implementation. Let's say I'm not satisfied with the string class compareTo implementation. I want to provide my own customized sorting. Then how can I do it? I can write a string comparator, and there I can do whatever I want to do, right? Why we're using a comparator, and pretty good. And one more thing, guys, you don't have to do this many lines of code. What you can do, you can remove line number 25, and here inside the sort method itself, you can just write a new year comparator, sort by year comparator. Directly you can create an object right here inside the sort method, and there you go, you are done, right? Good. Okay, I think we're pretty good right now with the topic. Okay, before I wrap up, I have a question for you. Okay, so if I talk about this sort method, right, the second sort method, when I execute this particular sort method, basically now I have two different sorting, right? If I go to my song class here, if I go to my song class, this class does have a compareTo method. Here, whoever given me this particular class, they have given their own logic right over here for the sorting, right? And here I have also written one of my class that I've developed here, sort by year. Here I have given my own implementation for sorting, right? Here I'm sorting based on year, there they are sorting based on title. So whenever this particular sort method I'm calling, this is a question, whenever I'm calling this particular sort method, whether the song class compareTo method will be executed or not. Okay, whenever I'm sorting, if I have my own comparator, whether this particular method will be executed or not. So no need to see me. What I can do here, you can put a breakpoint here, and you can go to the sort by year comparator where you have the compare method. Here also you can put a breakpoint in a line number, let's say 14, okay, or in the line number 10 also you can put a breakpoint. Now you can do what? You can go to song app, and here you are doing the sorting. Line number 25, you can put a breakpoint here, and you can do right click, and you can go to debug as, and debug as our application. Right now your program will break here in line number 25. You can see your program flow stops here. Right now, if I do F8, see where the flow will go. The flow will go to the song class compareTo method, or the flow will go to the sort by year comparator compare method. Whether the flow will go here to the compare method of the sort by year comparator, or the flow will go to the song class compareTo method, right? This is my question. Let me come here, and I do not need to assume things. Right now my breakpoint is here. I can do what? I can do a F8 and see where my flow is coming. My flow directly came to sort by year comparator class, and my flow is here inside the compare method, right? This compare method is getting executed, not the song class compareTo method, right? And if I keep pressing F8, you can see my program execution is done, and I have got my result in my console right here. And not even for a time, not even for one time, the song class compareTo method get called. Okay, so if you have your own comparator, then your compare method will be get called. Okay, and the default implementation of compareTo will not be get called. Okay, that's pretty simple. This is the only one thing that I want you guys to aware about. Okay, that's basically it. So right now I have shown you that how we have to create a comparator class by providing our own implementation. I have created a package here called my comparators, right? So you can create as much comparators as you want. If somebody tomorrow will come to you and will tell you, hey, I want to have a another comparator right here. Now I do not want to sort something by the year. I want to sort something by the artist name, right? I want to sort something by the artist name in a descending order, right? And again, right now what you can do, you can create your own comparator for the artist name, right? Okay, let me show this to you also, and after that you will be pretty much acquainted with all this concept, and you can try creating your own comparators as much as you want. So in my comparators class, if you go to a company, so basically you will have some folder structure or the package like my comparators or the comparators or something like this, and there only you need to create a new class, not an interface. I want to create a new class. Let's say I want to create a new comparator for the artist name. So what I can do here, I can say artist name comparator, and here again I can do what? I can maximize the thing, and let me do it quickly, and let me say artist name comparator implements comparator. I want to use comparator here, not comparable. I want to use comparator because I want to provide my own customized logic right here. So here I want to compare the song class. So I'll write here song class right here, and inside this I will implement the compare method. So inside comparable we have compareTo method. Inside comparator we have a method called compare, right? So again here I can say let's say O1 O2, let's say song 1 song 2. Okay, let me say song 1 song 2, and here I have to provide an implementation for sorting the songs based on the artist name in a descending order, right? So what I can do here, I can do same thing if okay, I do not need to write my own logic here. I can use string class compareTo method. So directly I'll say song1 dot get artist dot compareTo, and I need to pass on the song2 dot get artist. Okay, there you go. And based on that, this is by default the string class compareTo method do what? It is going to sort everything in ascending order. I don't want to do it. I want to do minus here, right? There you go. Now it will do reverse of this, right? So what I can do here, command S to save it. Remember, get artist is string. If you are thinking right now where is this compareTo is coming, this get artist is going to be return a string name. The artist name is string. If I do command click here, you can see I have blended into song class, and this get artist is obviously returning me a string. Let me go back. So this song1 is the song object. That's why I'm getting the artist from the song object, and obviously the song object get artist method is returning me a string. Once I get the string, I'm comparing the string with a other song artist, and based on the result I'm just sending a -1, +1 or a 0. And if I do Control S, and if I'll go to my song app right now, and here if I'm going to do instead of sort by year comparator, I can write artist name comparator, Control S. Now if I'm going to play this particular program, you can see First is unknown, then is Kishore Kumar, then is Sonu Nigam, then is KK, and then is Arijit Singh. The A is coming last, the U is coming first, because we are doing reverse sorting right there, right? Here I have given a minus. If I'm going to remove the minus here, if I'm going to save this particular program, if I go to songapp.java class, if I'm going to play this particular program, you can see right now the artist name based on ascending order gets sorted right here. KK, Sonu Nigam, Kishore Kumar, unknown, right? Some of the letters are capital letters. So what I can do is I can change it to small and small, and Kishore Kumar here, Command S. Now let me go to the song app again. Let me play this particular program. Let's see what is going to happen. Or it is saying Kishore Kumar, KK, Sonu Nigam, then unknown, right? Because I do not know who has actually sing this particular song, Jara Sa Dil Mein. I'm not remembering it. That's great, right? Things are working pretty fine. And also I think over this particular artist name comparator, right? If you want to do reverse, here also you can write reverse, I think, dot reversed. I think this is also going to work. Now it is going to reverse the artist name. It is going to do exactly same as whatever we did few minutes back. We did a minus there, and this thing will work similar to that. It is going to reverse the list, I think. See, first U is coming, then S is coming, then K is coming, then K is coming, and then A is coming at last. Basically, it is reversing whatever my comparator is returning is basically reversing it. So if you have a requirement like you have to reverse the whatever the if you want to display in a descending order, rather giving a minus here inside the artist name comparator, rather giving a minus here, what you can do here, you can just wherever you are calling that comparator, you can use a method called reversed over the comparator object, and that's going to work fine. Okay, so that's pretty much it about the comparator. I think right now you are pretty much aware about why we are using the comparator. That's because I want to provide my own custom logic of sorting, right? There you go. That's pretty much it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So right now, if somebody asks you about the comparator, comparable, sorting method, little bit of generics that we have discussed today, if somebody asks you about it in your interview, I'm expecting that you will be pretty much in a good position to answer all these particular questions. And if you'll be doing it, I'll be pretty happy. Okay, so that's pretty much it about this particular tutorial. Hopefully, I'll be talking to you in the next video, and I'll come back with a new topic that will be pretty much famous for the interview. So I'm actually picking some famous interview topic, and I'll be spending a few hours with that. Hopefully that is going to help the beginners to crack interviews, and if it'll actually happen, then I'll be the happiest person. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I know you have spent a lot of time right here, and you actually spent a lot of time listening to me today. So thank you. And obviously, I'll create some more good content for you in the future tutorial. Hopefully you are not bored, because it's a kind of long tutorial. If I want, I can wrap this topic off within 5 or 10 minutes. But I don't think that's going to work for most of the people, because the people who already know, right, they can understand within 5 or 6 minutes. But for a beginner, it is always difficult to understand, because they have to understand from the scratch. By putting this thing in mind, I have created this tutorial, and hopefully it is beneficial for you. Okay, so thank you very much guys for watching this tutorial. Hopefully you will practice the same program, and you will answer it well in the interview. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care, and happy coding. Do like if you like this tutorial, and do dislike if you don't like this tutorial. And obviously, do not forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button.